Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is It's Malkai Plays here, and today is a very, very big video, for it's the 10th anniversary video of FNaF, which is the theory video I spoiled at the end of the big level 9 CPU tournament that was inspired by Alpharad. But anyways, that's not important. The point thing is that I wanted to take a second crack at making a theory. A second crack. Because the first one was basically kind of stupid because I brought up Shadow Glamrock Bonnie and for some reason, like, Gregory died and stuff like that. But I want to take a different approach this time. I want to take a different approach. But before we start that theory, I just want to say, thank you. Thank you all so much for watching a lot of stuff I've been posting. And thank you for over 200 subscribers. That means the world to me. Why I hit my desk. Anyways, yeah, again, I'm not good with this voiceover stuff. I always get distracted by like one thing or another. I have to point out like, hey, I hit my desk or I had to take a drink or something like that. But anyways, today is a pretty interesting theory. I hope you guys enjoy it. Because I want to take my own hand again at making a theory for the FNAF community. Because there's been dozens of theorists everywhere, specifically MatPat, Makey, enjoy retirements in peace, and not have to do another thing involving FNAF again. Most likely, he's still doing something along those lines. But anyways, yeah, today is a very interesting theory. I have a I like made a script. I did a lot of research and like throwing my whole like shtick at gathering different bits of information and attempting to squish it together to make an interesting theory. And I think I did. The end's a little like what Matt Pat said with like Gregory's a robot, if you want to consider it that way. Like again, take everything I'm gonna say with like a big grain of salt. When I mean big, I mean like a giant like slab of pink Himalayan salt. Because honestly, that's the definition of what's happening. Yeah. Again, I'm not good with voiceover stuff. I'm still learning this, but it's honestly fun because it provides better audio than what I'm used to. Normal recordings, so I like this. Again, if you want to see some more stuff like this, over 100 likes for any of the videos I do, just give me over 100 likes and I'll be happy with it because I at least know that at least 100 people out there like what I did. And regardless, I probably will still post some other ideas out there, like the CPU tournament, like anything else that I decide, hey, I want to try my hand at this again. Because honestly, I don't do it for like a big, like, hey, I want to be a big hotshot YouTuber. I do it to just say like, hey, thank you. I want to like, give back to you know people. I want to give them a moment of like just to think about stuff. Think about you know what's the story here, I guess, because that's kind of why I wanted to join YouTube. I wanted to join YouTube to make a story, but we're not going to get into my reasons for wanting to be a YouTuber. We're going to get into the theory that solves ruin and security breach, and trust me, it's kind of like it starts off great, and then at the end, it's like, are you sure about that? I'm not sure about that, but it's kind of compelling for me. So I hope you all enjoy, and let me pull up the script and well. See ya in a bit. Because honestly, again, this is a bit of a doozy. To start off this theory, I just want to bring up the quick question. What is the meaning and purpose of Help 1 and 2? Because I feel like there's more than we think when it comes to the meaning of why was this game made. In the opening slideshow, we're shown that this game is a on-the-job training position for a future pizza professional, meaning that we're an employee.
Fazbear Entertainment is offering a new on-the-job training position for a future pizza professional.
It also makes sense considering the games we play. And what I mean by this is that it says on-the-job training, meaning that we're being trained to be an employee here. We are being trained for some reason. And this makes sense with all the main games we're doing. They're mostly maintenance or assisting an animatronic with their performance or something along those lines. Like helping Roxanne Wolf with her makeup and stuff to get ready for her show. Fixing the carousel. Getting Freddy unstuck from freezer for little Timmy or Jimmy's birthday. Whatever the name was. teaching the Glamrock endoskeletons. That one is the biggest like maintenance esque thing I could think of. But even in the other games that aren't security breach based, you get this maintenance like vibe, like doing first aid with Helpy and the breaker room stuff with Funtime Freddy. Like all those feel maintenance based. Maintenance or assisting a animatronic in some way. Those feel like they're meant for that purpose. So what I want to bring up is that there are also other games in there that feel like they're also different jobs. Again, with the first aid with Helpy thing, it feels like yeah, you're like aiding animatronic, but also like hey, first aid on a child. Even though why would you need a saw to go open their brain and take their leg off? But that's beside the point. Like, there's food prep in different spots around the Pizzaplex. There's the Fizzy Fast Factory, and there's just being a security guard in the private room of Sister Location. Like, all those feel like job based. They're all jobs. Unlike Help on One, which is specifically meant to like hide all the rumors and stuff about like this brand as a cover up.
They lied to us. They lied to all of us. They told us that the whole point of this VR game was to undo the bad PR done by a rogue indie game developer. But that's not true at all. Fazbear Entertainment hired the game developer. Those indie games were designed to conceal and make light of what happened. This isn't just an attempt to rebrand. It's an elaborate cover-up. A campaign to discredit everything.
This is like, we're training you for, to be an employee here. Heck, some of the main games that feel like they're just for fun also just feel like it's like a meaning of maintenance behind them. Like the daycare attendant and DJ Music Man's main games being like to test if the animatronic's functioning properly or see if this could be a big hit with the kids or something like that, Same thing with like if the animatronic's functioning properly, we need to see if the games are functioning properly, like Bonkabon, Bonnie Bowl, the Cat and Foxy log ride. I said that. Anyways, this could be seen as testing to see if there's any game, if the games are working, or the attraction's working, or the animatronics are working, and if there's any bugs or glitches that we need to fix, or if it's breaking in some way. But why would they want the animatronics to attack you during these games if this is what I'm going with? Well, in the first Help 1 game, Tape Girl says that they scanned the circuit boards so to copy the animatronic data so that it would expedite the process so we didn't have to do any pathfinding ourselves.
Told us to scan it. Said it would expedite the process so we wouldn't need to program any pathfinding ourselves. It was just junk. Circuit boards and things like that. Looked pretty old. Somehow, though, there was usable code on some of it.
This could imply that they also did the same thing for this game, because the only reason that the Sister Location and heck, maybe even the FNAF 6 animatronics would function with the pathfinding thing is what they did during those nights of Sister Location and FNAF 6. They crawl through the air vents and they attempt to get the night guard. Or for Sister Location, just do all the stuff in Sister Location. But that's weird that they would also scan the same circuit boards from this VR game into this VR training simulation. It's weird. So why have the animatronics? To put their employees under stress, pressure, train them for multitasking. You could see this in a way, like, like with FNAF 1, you have to multitask, like, check Foxy, check Freddy, check the doors, check the lights, shut the doors, stuff like that. Like, that is like a multitasking training route, if you think about that. Like, it's stressful, but, you train your employees to be put under this pressure. One of the mini games is even called Job Interview. That's a solid point to make. Like, one of the mini games with Circus Baby is called Job Interview. It's on the nose of what this game is made for. It's testing to see if we are qualified to work under Fazbear Entertainment. Except for one. One game just doesn't feel that vibe, like with the other games, like testing if there's any bugs or glitches, and that's... I don't know why it doesn't fit this theme, but it's the Phaser Blast mini games. The ones with Carney. They don't feel like something that would make sense here. They don't feel like something that belongs here. And it all has to do with one specific thing, and that is Fall Fest. For those who aren't aware, the first Help Wanted game showed us Fall Fest in the year 1983 in the Curse of Dreadbear DLC. But I believe that the Fazer Blast minigames are showing us Fall Fest in the year 1970. I think this because both have associations with William Afton, or in this case, Glitchtrap. Not only is Glitchtrap in the background of the Curse of Dreadbear DLC alongside the FNAF 4 house, but because of the fact that they scanned the circuit boards, the Help Wanted development team and Tape Girl, they scanned the circuit boards, which brought Glitchtrap to life, which was a digital representation of William Afton's personality and actions, but also I believe it's giving us his memories. Now I say this because it would make sense that Afton was around during both Fall Fests, as well as the fact that Glitchtrap is William Afton, but not soul wise. It's just his consciousness being replicated by by a circuit board. His consciousness, his actions, his personality, his memories is what is the main focus here. If these are William Afton's memories, then it shows us that he remembers a lot of things. Specifically, it shows us Help Wanted gameplay of the first, second, and third game, events that both Glitchtrap and William have seen before. Due to the fact that William is Springtrap, and the fact that he was around for the first two games. The first two. He dismantled the FNAF 1 crew, and he was around during FNAF 2. He is shown in both games. Same thing with Glitchtrap, except he's just watching our perspective as we're doing the night shift. But these are altered by Glitchtrap because it shows us the Glamrock animatronics, which William probably would not know, because most likely when he, for example, played the Fazer Blast mini games before they were probably called Fazer Blast, they're probably just generic space and cowboy themed shooters. So shooting games where you get points and get a prize afterwards. It makes sense. After all, Carney even tells us that, hey, come back. I know you have kids. You look like someone who has kids. Come on, come bring them here. But that's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is that these are altered because of Glitchtrap. This is why we see the Glamrocks. This is why we see Dreadbear and the plush babies. This is proof that Glitchtrap is altering these memories, because most likely, because he's the only one that is able to comprehend and knowing that Dreadbear and the plush babies exist, because they first showed up alongside him and Help Wanted. But him having knowledge of Glamrocks also makes sense because of the fact that he has control of Vanny, and Vanny was around for the Pizzaplex. He controlled Vanessa to dress as Vanny and go around the Pizzaplex. He is well aware of what the Glamrocks look like. Which also implies that he, Glitchtrap, has knowledge of the Glamrocks. He has knowledge of all the previous events in Help Wanted, because of the fact that FNAF 1 through 3 are all Night Guard minigames and Help Wanted. But it doesn't go as planned, as, well, he's going to make it apparently, because that sounds weird. That was a weird sentence. But the point is that Glitchtrap's plan was probably to go back, grab the original Afton's body, because he just wants immortality. That's the whole reason William Afton exists. He wants immortality. But he needs to spread this virus around the Pizzaplex, which is probably why the Glamrocks get infected and controlled in the first place, but also to get to the original Afton's body buried underneath in FNAF 6. But it doesn't go as planned because of what Gregory did by freeing Vanessa or just burning the original Afton. But that's not the last thing that Gregory and Vanessa did. Once Vanessa was freed, I believe that they both trapped Glitchtrap and isolated him somewhere, in one final spot, and Help Wanted 2, in a Vanny mask. Which is why we are wearing it in the first place. But before we move on to the next part, this is an extra segment. Something I realized while making this theory is that, since we have the knowledge that 1970 and 1983 are two significant years, we know that the crying child died in 1983. And we know that William was most likely alive to experience the Fall Fest 1970. Considering if Michael is a teenager, like, let's say 16, during 1983 when he's bullying his brother, then we can determine that Michael was born in the year 1967. If you take 16 years off 1983, this age fits and makes the most sense. This answers and needs to be speculated on how old the Aftons are. This one detail hints at how old the Aftons are. So, with that in mind, how old's William? Well, he would have to be born mid-early 1930s or mid-early 1940s. In the 30s, and he reaches 1970s, and, well, before that, he would be 34 if he had Michael, or 24 if he had Michael, if depending on the year. So, 1940s, he'll be 24 when he had Michael. 1930s, he would be 34 if he had Michael. Which lines up. That one makes sense. But we don't know how old the crying child is. But obviously, the crying child was not born yet, meaning he was born in the 70s, which, if we can depict him as like an 8-year-old, that would make him born in the year 1975. Which, again, makes sense, you know? Well, that's possibly even where Fredbear originated, at the circus, so it would make sense. Alongside Circus Baby, yeah, which, speaking of which, the trickiest one to point down is Elizabeth, because we don't know what year she died, but we know that she died on the opening day of Circus Baby's Pizza World. So when did that open? Well, it's kind of hard to pin down the timeline perspective, but I would say Circus Babies opened in the year 1987, the same year as FNaF 2. Which, if we play as Michael in FNaF 2, at least for the 6th night, because I'm pretty sure we play as Jeremy Fitzgerald for, like, most of the game up until the 6th night, where, we take his place, and he gets bit. Michael would be 20 years old. That's 4 years afterwards, after FNaF 4. If Michael's 20 in FNaF 2, he would be able to get a job and live on his own like he does in Sister Location, most likely. He is shown just living in a neighborhood and not in a house in the middle of nowhere like he is shown in FNaF 4, because... Actually, no, wait. The FNaF 4 house is near Fredbear's, and it is near a neighborhood. So, that one's a bit tricky, but we'll come back to that at a different time. But this means that if Michael's able to be 20 and live by himself, because most likely William did die, but, during the events of Sister Location, and then Michael would probably be, 20-something now. 25, maybe, or something like that. Actually, wait. In FNaF 1, it takes place 1993, so we just add Michael's age to 1993, which, if it's 1987 to 1993, and he's 20 years old, Michael would be... He would be about 26, I think? 26? No, wait, it's, Yeah, it's 6 years, so... Yeah, he would be 26. So Michael's 26 during the events of FNaF 1. Meaning Sister Location... Because we're trying to talk about Circus Baby's Pizza World opening and closing back in 1987. That does not mean Michael goes there first in the timeline or anything like that. Michael goes to FNaF 2 first, gets his first experience with possessed animatronics in the 6th night, and then probably goes on to do Sister Location, and then visit FNaF 1. Or vice versa, it depends. But regardless, for Sister Location, the game we play where we go to Circus Baby's Entertainment and Rentals, he is 26. And that means also in FNaF 1, he is 26. It's from my perspective. I'm not saying Sister Location takes place in the year 1993, but he dies regardless. Is in 20s, possibly 30 years of age, because we don't know when Sister Location takes place, because Sky is a troll, and that makes sense. But regardless, knowing this, is Michael probably, while he's doing his night in FNaF 2, probably had his first experience, just doing stuff like this. He had experience now dealing with possessed animatronics. And this is where it gets even deeper with this. Because most likely him and William probably still grieving over the crying child, and then once Elizabeth disappeared, him and his father were still grieving over that. And assuming that William took time to build Sister Location and Pizza and Circus Baby's Pizza World, that'd probably take 1 to 2 years to build. That'd take 1 to 2 years to build. It's a completely underground location used to take the children he's captured and experiment on them for remnant and stuff like that. Most likely, it would take 2 years for both locations. It's a year for one, a year for the other. Or because in between that, he has to build the animatronics, program them correctly, and do a bunch of other stuff. But Circus Baby only opened for 1 day, and I believe that this means that Elizabeth died in the year 1987. 4 years after her brother. Which means, what year was Elizabeth born? Well, possibly the same year, if not a year earlier than the crying child. 1974 or 1975. This would make sense because it feels like a 12 to 13-year-old thing to do to yeah, you're still obedient to your parent, but you're growing up to be I want to do this though, but you have to listen to your parents in a way. She wants to see Circus Baby, but she's told no over and over again. Meaning, Afton's in his 30s or 40s by 83 and 87. And then when he dies, he's either in his 40s or 50s. But for a hypothetical standpoint, we're just going to say he dies in his 40s. Whereas, that just shows how old the Afton family is. He started back in the 30s and 40s with William, and then possibly during 1970, that's when he first met Henry, which could be represented by Carney, in a way. It could be where he first met Henry. Because Lefty is indeed one of Henry's creations, and Lefty and Carney look very similar. So perhaps 1970 is the year that he met Henry? That part's still speculative, but let's just say the conclusion we come to by the end of this theory is quite literally insane. But yeah, back to the main theory though, and away from the side theory, I do believe that Glitchtrap was contained in Help Wanted 2. In the vanity mask we wear, it gets intense. Somehow, even after Vanessa was freed, Glitchtrap still remained in Help Wanted 2, which is weird, but also kind of funny that Help Wanted 2's hub is Pizza Sim, aka FNaF 6, which is underneath the Pizzaplex, which is also where Afton last died because of Henry burning him and any other possessed animatronic in the building. So it's funny that Glitchtrap was sealed by Gregory and Vanessa in the same spot that his original self died. And that's honestly an interesting parallel. Glitchtrap and Afton died and sealed away in the same spot. But what does the vanity mask have anything to do with this? Well, the only way to get Help Wanted 2's endings is to keep the mask on, which you can't get any endings with the mask off. But you only get them after collecting the Fast Force figures or the 6 plushies with the creepy masks on them. I thought they were called Poppets, but they're just plushies. But and those two endings are the Princess Quest 4 ending and just a generic bad ending, where Glitchtrap pops out of a charging station, just like how Burntrap did in Security Breach. And we're attacked by Nightmare Staff bots, implying that Glitchtrap didn't possess us, but perhaps he had a bunch of staff bots rush in the room and just rip us apart. But that is an interesting thing to point out, because afterwards we wake up inside the body of Mapbot, or Maskbot, in Ruin, and we give Cassie the mask. Most likely, he has a brief moment of control because he has a new host for 5 seconds while he was getting ripped up. Then he just kills him off, or the conscious joins in, and we get to see, Afton attempt to escape his prison via using Cassie. But there's one thing about that ending that no one really realized, and that's that we were attacked by staff bots. Just like how Vanny did in that one ending of Security Breach, where Gregory orders staff bots to disassemble Vanny and attacking her and ripping her apart. It's an interesting parallel that is also just an ending that we get. It's the same thing, just with different circumstances. And we're possessing Mapbot before he shuts down in Ruin. Like, our character was shown giving the mask to Cassie, which is, not gonna lie, apparently speculated to be the Bonnie Mask kid from FNaF 4, because they look similar. But anyways, why do the Fast Force figures give you this ending? Well, because Cassie's dad might be the Bonnie Mask kid, it possibly is a luring tactic by Glitchtrap playing off nostalgia. Like, the Fast Force figures feel very Transformers and Megazord, Power Ranger esque in a way. So it's like a childhood thing, like something that, he would probably like. So, me since Aft and Glitchtrap are basically both in the same vein, a serial killer, or that lures in their prey in some ways. Like when Afton killed the original kids by giving him cake and luring him in to get rid of them. The same thing could be said for this guy, just like playing off nostalgia, bring him in. That seems like an obvious like serial killer slash trope of like it makes sense that that's the way Glitchtrap would lure him in. But then the Princess Quest 4 ending involves the 6 plushies, which were Afton's original 6 victims. Again, weird. And not only this, doing the Princess 4 ending gives us the Bonnie mask, which hinted at the Bonnie mask kid being important in some way, possibly. But why would Glitchtrap's hand give you his victims? Like, because when you get them, it shows Glitchtrap offering it up to you, and then you take it. Why is that the way this works? Why is that how this works? Well, I believe that Glitchtrap was trying to get back full control of Vanny. I think that by giving us the plushies to go into Princess Quest, the same line of games that freed Vanessa in the first place, Vanessa probably still has a bit of connection to it. So in attempts to get her back, you get the plushies and then you go through Princess Quest 4 the way you do until you reach the sister location elevator where the old man, speculated to be old man consequences in the code security breach, but we're not going to talk about that. You give him the mask in exchange for the Glitchtrap plushie, and then you give the plushie to Moon in the giant prize machine, and then Vanny just kills him. Vanny just kills Glitchtrap, killing him forever. But Glitchtrap probably's whole goal was to attempt to get back control of Vanny, but it didn't work out. And honestly, it's probably because this is only the last remains of Glitchtrap, and now he's gone. No explanation there. Except for the fact that Vanny was stronger than him this time, and, well, Vanny is freed, no longer needing to serve him. His influence is not as strong as he thought, and he got overpowered and killed. And I was going to end it here, but then one thought kept bothering me. Why does the Vanny mask behave differently between Ruin and Help Wanted 2, if it's the same mask? Now, the reason why I'd say it's the same mask is because, well, yeah, we know it's a manufactured thing. We're shown giving the mask, and the masks both behave differently in Ruin and Help Wanted 2. And the conclusion I come up with this is a bit crazy. Trust me, you're not prepared for it. The Vanny mask in Help Wanted 2 behaves so differently than it does in Ruin that it's quite noticeable, actually. In Ruin, the mask shows you this distorted, glitched reality that's all purple and messed up. You see, you can interact with this weird AR world, because that's what apparently it's called, I'm assuming, where you can grab AR collectibles, solve puzzles that aren't even there, like the security nodes, which, again, you interact with a digital object, the security nodes, and then you can walk through walls, and at one point during the Monty Golf sequence, I swear you can fly. I swear technically you can fly. Because, there's a bridge there, and then, it just dissipate, then with the mask on, it's there, with mask on, it's not there, and just a blank space. You literally just fly for 5 seconds, or something, and it feels weird. But then, in Help Wanted 2, it just shows us FNAF 6 as if it were brand new. It's strange that they behave so differently. So what's the meaning of this? Well, it could just be because Glitchtrap corrupted that one, if it is the same mask, and it's the canonical ending, where, we get attacked by Glitchtrap, and then he corrupts the mask, showing us this reality. Or it's just because it's in the Pizzaplex and not FNAF 6. But the mask was shown in FNAF 6. It was even used in FNAF 6 during Ruin, where it's the area before you meet the Mimic. It's it shows us that it works the same way there. So it can't be glitch trap. So it has to be like glitch trap corrupting it, or maybe over time, if depending on when, if they have a big time jump, it like the inside corroded. But it's weird that that is the only thing that's different. I mean, an interesting part is that in Help Wanted 2, it's used to get to two endings and interact with things that aren't there, like the Phasma figures and the plushies. And, the thing that's similar to how it works in Help Wanted 2 is the illusion discs from the Silver Eyes trilogy of novels, where, like, Silver Eyes, Twisted Ones, Fourth Closet. In the Twisted Ones, it was illusion discs were first shown off there, and they interact basically the same way. It shows us things that aren't there, like a horde of balloon boys, or turning this husk into Twisted Foxy, for example. But it's just weird that that's how they work in Help 1 2, but in Ruin, it doesn't. In Ruin doesn't feel like it's just an illusion disc thing. It can make you walk through walls, make objects straight disappear like the TV, and you jump through the wall and you take it back off. It's just the wall's back. Strip, teleport in the Monty Off catwalk section, as well as fly with the AR bridge. And that's not what illusion discs do. It's impossible. However, after doing a lot of research and considering a lot of options, do you know what does feel similar to everything I just said in the similar manner? FNaF World. Yeah. Yes, I'm going there. Yes, FNaF World is important. Let me remind you what we can do in FNaF World that's similar to Ruin. Walk through walls. Check. Teleport between multiple areas. Check. Interact with digital objects. Check. Solve puzzles that aren't there, which is basically the clock ending. Check. Have the ability to basically fly. Check. There's like this dark world where you just walk through just into this one object, and then you just basically go outside the boundaries and on top of the map, and you basically fly. Same way how you upon the mask, a bridge just magically appears and you walk on it. It's the same thing. And you enter a glitch-distorted digital reality. Again, the Dark World sequence, where you walk and you interact with these distorted digital entities, which, again, that's another checkmark. You interact with Mexis, and if Glitch Trap were there, most likely Glitch Trap. And it's the same thing. The AR world is basically the flip side of the real world, is it not? They both behave the same way in FNaF World. They behave the same way in both FNaF World and Ruin. They both have an ending involving Fredbear in one way or another, whether it's him exploding by seeing a duplicate of himself or just interacting with a cardboard cutout. It's the same thing. Heck, they both have an ending where you fall, where you basically are showing falling down something. So let's remind you what we have to do in Ruin and basically Security Breach, but Ruin is the main focus here because it involves the AR world and the mask. In Ruin, we start in Roxy Wakespray, the top level. You go down a level where the elevator is in the basement. So, in this case, is the Pizzaplex plus the basement, then the caves, then FNaF 6, then the Mimic's room, where the elevator, where Gregory or the Mimic, I don't know, at this point, it's still unconfirmed, disconnect the cables and we fall to our death. And then look what you do in FNaF World. Look what you can do in FNaF World. You go down 4 levels of the game's code through the subtunnels that change color. You go from black and blue, to white and black, to gray and black, and then when you meet Old Man Consequences, it's red and black, the final level. Both have an ending where you go down 4 stages. Like, again, in Ruin, it's like Pizzaplex, then Tunnel / FNaF 6, then Burn Trap Room, then the Mimic Room. Then FNaF World, blue and black, white and black, gray and black, red and black. That's where you meet Old Man Consequences. Where, in order to escape, you have to drown yourself in a lake, and then it shows your character just constantly falling down a screen. Like, it shows you that. And regardless, both endings sort and end the same. You go down 4 levels, you go down too deep, as a result of our curiosity or regardless of intentions. Like, heck, we're trying to save Gregory in Ruin, and in FNaF World, we're just trying to figure out why we can't go down too deep. And regardless of our intentions, as it said, we paid the consequences. And that is the story if I want to. And a little bit of Ruin, I get it. I ended off on that big of a cliffhanger, but think about it, it makes sense. Like, Help Wanted 2 and Ruin, each are different. And even though they have the same tool, which is the Vanny Mask, And then in Help Wanted, it behaves like Illusionist. It behaves like we just entered the flip side. It's an interesting parallel. And I get no one's gonna like this part of the theory because it connects FNAF world into everything, and mentions the books because I know everyone despises the books. Honestly, take that again with the big slab of pink Himalayan salt, because I'm not a good theorist, but if someone would like to paraphrase everything I just said, then yeah. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching. This took a lot of time and effort to put into, because quite literally, after doing all this voiceover work, I still have to go in, add like background footage, do a bunch of edits. Then, even afterwards, I'm probably going to go through it again and clean it all up. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and see you all next time. Take care and peace out.